Uh, Given that we are generating huge amounts of data on a regular basis, do you see any fundamental innovations happening in data analytics? I mean, any happening startups, any happening technologies, any market innovation happening? That's the first question. And the second question is to Dr. Murthy garu. I'm surprised at the clarity of thinking that you had on a wide variety of subjects. I mean, you're very passionate about I mean, a lot of the subjects that everybody talked about. I'm very surprised the amount of information that you had. I'm sure the passion really comes out. What is your general advice to us? I mean, from a knowledge perspective. I mean, I feel that.
I think the second question and the first question will be answered.
The first question,
that's exactly what I was thinking.
Okay, so if you look at the trends from an analytics perspective, right? I think some of the big vendors have kind of developed technology which is counter to making it more efficient. If you think about it, the amount of data that we have now in one company is possibly the amount of data that you would have seen in thousands of companies like 10 years ago, right? The explosion that you're seeing in data is phenomenal. The reason being the storage is free, right? I still remember the days when we were writing C++ code where you had a 640 kilobyte memory space. We would go after every single byte. But then now you have machines which have tens of gigs of memory, right? So you don't really worry that much for efficient stuff. So analytics has the same problem if you really look at it. And where you're seeing innovation is in terms of the speed with which you're able to get after the data, not about efficiency. Right? It's about the speed with which you're able to analyze the data. Because if you take, say, customer data, for example, you can have different facets of the customer data. And you have thousands of providers who are augmenting the customer data in different ways. Right? The same notion of customer D&B has its own set of attributes that it gives. Whoas gives another set of attributes. So it's going to make it more richer. But I don't know whether that goes into the efficiency play that you're talking about.
Yeah. One thing quickly to add, there is when we talk about analytics, we were just talking about the mode of the structured data that exists or relational data. But the data is becoming very unstructured and different kind of data is showing up. So how that data is stored, how that data is accessed, how that data is analyzed is going to change. Not to say that the relational or the structured data will stay, I mean that is there, but some of the stuff that his company is doing is very different from what our Informatica or a Cognos would do. So watch out for those trends, in my opinion, where the likes of big data and NoSQL is how they're storing the data, and the companies like Astrodata that came out in this space, and changing the game in terms of how data is analyzed. So if you go and do search on big data and NoSQL, you'll get some of your